I went to visit my brother's family unannounced and discovered the truth about my sister-in-law. Lena Weston, a composed 65-year-old woman, steps into the sterile hospital room where her son, Ryan, lies unconscious after a terrible car accident. She's holding a basket of his favorite snacks, ready to surprise him with a much-needed comfort. But instead of a simple hospital visit, Lena is faced with an overwhelming sight. Ryan hooked up to machines, his body lifeless. The room is quiet, save for the beeping of the machines, but it's not the sight of her son's fragile state that rattles Lena the most. It's the absence of his wife, Sarah. Sarah, who should be by his side, isn't there. Instead, Lena catches a glimpse of Sarah's latest Instagram post, a picture of her laughing with another man in a luxury cabin sipping champagne. Lena's hands shake as she drops the basket. Her mind races. Where is she? She wonders, but the truth is too painful to admit. Sarah, the woman who promised to love her son, has abandoned him in his darkest hour. Lena's protective instincts kick in. She's been suspicious of Sarah for months, but now she knows the truth. This is just the beginning of a much deeper betrayal, one that could tear her son's world apart. Lena reaches for her phone and dials her lawyer. This fight has just begun. "Get ready," she says coldly. "We're about to freeze her out for good." Lena sits in the sterile waiting room, her hands tightly clutching her purse. The fluorescent lights flicker above her, but it's the silence that feels deafening. Her mind drifts back to a time when everything seemed simpler, before the cracks in Ryan's marriage began to show. It had started subtly. Sarah had always been controlling, but Lena didn't want to believe it at first. She thought it was just the pressures of being a young wife. But the warning signs had been there, if only Lena had paid closer attention. The first red flag was Sarah's obsession with their finances. "We need to update the accounts," Sarah had said one afternoon, her tone sweet but firm. "It's for Ryan's future, Lena. Just let me handle it." At first, Lena had trusted her, thinking it was just Sarah trying to take care of things. After all, Sarah and Ryan were building a life together. But now, Lena realizes that trust was misplaced. The more Lena thought about it, the clearer the pattern became. Sarah began isolating Ryan from his family, subtly planting doubts. "Your mom seems a little forgetful, don't you think?" Sarah had whispered once during dinner. "Maybe we should limit how much she's involved in the kids' lives." And just like that, Lena became the overbearing grandmother in Sarah's eyes. Lena shakes her head, pushing away the memories. She shouldn't have ignored her instincts. It was all part of Sarah's plan: control the finances, distance Ryan from his family, and quietly take over everything Ryan had worked so hard for. Then came the phone call 3 months ago that changed everything. "Hi, Lena, I've been thinking. It would be better if you handed over your financial details to me, just in case of emergencies. Ryan and I are planning a few big things," Sarah had said sweetly, her voice dripping with faux concern. Lena had hesitated. Something didn't sit right, but she couldn't put her finger on it. After a moment of doubt, she had given in. Sarah had her way with words, and Lena had always wanted to trust Ryan's wife. What harm could it do? But now, as Lena sits in this cold, impersonal room, she realizes just how much harm it had caused. The entire time, Sarah had been plotting behind Ryan's back, siphoning money from his inheritance, making secret transfers to accounts Lena had no knowledge of. It wasn't just about control, it was about greed. Lena thought back to the time Sarah had asked for access to Ryan's trust fund to make sure everything was in order. Lena had agreed, thinking it was for the family's future, not realizing it was for Sarah's escape plan. Tears well up in Lena's eyes, but she blinks them away. She can't afford to be weak now. The moment Ryan wakes up, he's going to need to know the truth. And the first thing she needs to do is make sure Sarah can't hurt him anymore. Lena stands up, walking toward the nurse's station with renewed resolve. The past is behind them now. It's time to protect Ryan and make sure Sarah pays for her betrayal. Lena walks back to Ryan's room, her mind spinning. As she passes the sterile hallways of the hospital, she pulls out her phone. The email notification flashes on her screen. Alert! Unusual activity detected from the bank. Her heart skips a beat. She opens it, her fingers trembling as she reads the details. There it is. A large withdrawal from Ryan's main account, an amount so substantial it could have paid off a small mortgage. The transaction was made just days before Ryan's accident. Lena's breath catches in her throat as she scans the details. Transferred to offshore account. Lena's blood runs cold. This wasn't an ordinary withdrawal. This was planned. Sarah had taken control of everything, siphoning away Ryan's hard-earned savings, possibly to fund her getaway. Lena closes her eyes for a moment, the gravity of the situation crashing down on her. She always suspected something was wrong, but this was beyond anything she imagined. She scrolls through the transaction history, her eyes widening with each new discovery, transfers that Sarah had been making every few weeks for the last 6 months. Each transfer went to the same account, one Lena didn't recognize. Lena leans against the wall, steadying herself as she clicks on the account details. The account is linked to a name she doesn't know. Eliza Winters. Another layer to Sarah's deception. Lena's thoughts race. Who is Eliza Winters? The name is unfamiliar, but the account's transactions are clear. Sarah had been building a financial nest egg, one that Ryan would never know about. She had been planning her escape, and now Lena can see exactly how far Sarah had gone. Lena's phone buzzes, snapping her out of her thoughts. It's a message from her lawyer, Thomas. He's been following the bank activity and sends an alert. Account freeze confirmed. Further transfers blocked. Lena sighs in relief. At least Sarah can't get away with any more of Ryan's money. But Lena knows this isn't over yet. The accounts are frozen, but the damage has been done. She needs to act fast. If Sarah is this bold, she's likely already planning her next move. Lena reaches out to her friend Maria, the private investigator, with a single message. Find everything on Eliza Winters. We need answers. As she steps into Ryan's room, Lena's stomach twists. She's going to have to tell him the truth, the ugly truth about the woman he married, the woman who would leave him when he was at his weakest. But for now, Lena holds the evidence. The fight for Ryan's future and their family's safety has only just begun. Lena stands by Ryan's bed, her mind still reeling from the discovery. The machines beep steadily beside him, but for Lena, the chaos of the last few hours feels like a fog in her mind. She tries to push aside her anger and sadness to focus on the task at hand, protecting her son. The hospital room is silent except for the rhythmic sounds of the ventilator. Ryan's face is pale, but his breathing seems steadier now. Lena takes a deep breath and taps out a message to her lawyer, Thomas. Get the papers ready. I need an emergency freeze on all assets. I'm starting the process. She's been through this before, handling crisis situations, managing family matters, but this was different. This time, she's not just protecting herself, she's protecting her son's future, his legacy, everything that Sarah had been working to steal. The thought of Sarah's betrayal still stings, but Lena doesn't allow herself to indulge in anger. She has work to do. Lena pulls out her phone again and dials Maria, the private investigator. Maria answers quickly, her voice calm and professional. What do you have for me, Lena? Lena explains what she's discovered, the secret offshore accounts, the constant withdrawals, and now this new name, Eliza Winters. Maria listens carefully, taking notes. Lena can hear the rustle of papers in the background. I'll start digging, Lena. I'll have something for you soon. Lena hangs up and takes another steadying breath. The next step is critical. She has to make sure Sarah doesn't have access to any of their financial resources and that Ryan's future is secure. She can't afford to make mistakes. As she sits in the corner of the room, Lena begins to think about the next few steps. The will, the most important document she has, the one she's kept carefully hidden for years, and the one that could protect Ryan from Sarah's greed. Lena reaches into her purse and pulls out a small, worn notebook, her personal journal. She flips to the last page and reviews the will she drafted 2 years ago. It's airtight. The inheritance Ryan is set to receive is clearly outlined, as well as specific instructions on the family's assets. Sarah is not named anywhere. Lena pauses, staring at the words. She's always known her son was the most important person in her life, but now it's more than that. It's about ensuring that his future remains safe, despite Sarah's attempts to take control. She pulls out her phone again and sends a message to Thomas. "Have Sandra Chen on standby. We're going to need her for the divorce proceedings. Get the papers ready. Make sure the will is included as evidence." Sandra Chen is a sharp divorce attorney that Lena knows from past dealings, and she's exactly the kind of person who can handle Sarah's manipulative behavior. Lena knows Sarah won't go down without a fight, but that's exactly what she's preparing for. The battle lines are drawn. For now, Lena remains by Ryan's side, holding his hand and waiting for the right moment to tell him the truth. She will protect him no matter what it takes. It won't be easy, but she's ready. This is her family's legacy, and no one, not even Sarah, will take it away. The quiet preparation is almost complete. The storm is coming, but Lena is ready to face it head-on. Lena watches as the nurses adjust Ryan's Roman IV drip, their voices soft and professional. She glances at the clock on the wall. It's been over 12 hours since she discovered the extent of Sarah's betrayal, and she hasn't stopped moving since. Her phone buzzes again. It's a message from Maria. "Found her. Eliza Winters is a financial consultant in New York. She's been linked to multiple offshore accounts, some of them questionable. Sarah's been using her to funnel money for the last 6 months." Lena reads the message twice, then sets the phone down carefully on the bedside table. She feels a cold rush of satisfaction. Finally, real evidence. The puzzle pieces are falling into place. But Lena knows the game isn't over yet. In fact, this is just the beginning. She picks up her phone and dials Thomas. His voice answers almost immediately. "Lena, what's the update?" "Do it now," Lena says, her voice firm, no room for doubt. "Freeze the accounts. Put a hold on everything, every asset Sarah has access to. Everything's in place. I'm ready to strike." "Understood. You'll get confirmation soon." Lena hangs up and takes a deep breath. She stands by the window, looking out over the quiet city streets. The calm before the storm, she thinks. In the hospital room, Ryan remains unconscious, unaware of the war Lena is waging on his behalf. The hospital is bustling around her, but Lena feels like she's in her own world. She's been through crises before, running her business, managing a household, but this is different. This is personal. This is her family's future, her son's life at stake. Her mind races with strategies. Sarah won't just give up. She's a schemer, a master manipulator, and Lena can already see how she'll fight back, likely through lies, manipulation, or trying to exploit Ryan's vulnerable state. But this time, Lena isn't going to let that happen. She's already seen the game Sarah's been playing, and Lena is 5 steps ahead. Lena's phone buzzes again. She picks it up and reads a text from Thomas. "Accounts frozen. Everything's under control for now. I'll follow up once we have the papers ready." A surge of relief washes over Lena. The first part of the plan is in motion. Now she can move to the next phase, taking Sarah down once and for all. Just then her phone rings. It's Sarah. Lena picks it up without hesitation. "Sarah," she says, her voice calm, measured. "I was just about to contact you." "Lena," Sarah's voice is tight, as though she's already aware something's happened. Why are my cards being declined? What's going on? Lena leans against the wall, a slight smirk tugging at her lips. She's worked so hard for this moment, and now, finally, she's in control. I froze the accounts, Sarah. You no longer have access to anything. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Sarah's voice comes back, a little less confident. You can't do that. Those accounts belong to me too. Actually, no, they don't, Lena replies coolly. You've been siphoning money from Ryan's inheritance for months, diverting funds into secret accounts. I know everything now, Sarah, every single move you've made. The silence on the other end of the line is deafening. Lena knows Sarah is scrambling, trying to find a way out, but it's too late. She's trapped. Lena's voice hardens. I'm not playing games anymore. Ryan deserves to know the truth, and I'm making sure he gets it. You won't get away with what you've done. You're finished. Lena, please. Sarah begs, her voice high-pitched, almost desperate. I didn't mean for it to go this far. You don't understand Ryan. No, Sarah, Lena interrupts sharply. I understand perfectly. You've manipulated him, used him, and now you've been exposed. You should have thought about this before you decided to destroy everything. Lena hangs up, her hand steady, but her heart pounding in her chest. It's done. Sarah knows Lena knows, and there's no turning back. Now Lena waits for the confirmation that the legal papers are ready. It won't be long before Sarah realizes the full extent of her losses, her access to Ryan's finances, her carefully laid plans, all gone in an instant. Lena looks over at Ryan, his face still pale. She doesn't know when he'll wake up, but she knows this. He'll be safe. And when he does wake up, he won't have to face Sarah's lies anymore. It's not just about freezing assets anymore. It's about taking back what's rightfully theirs, and Lena is prepared to fight for it every step of the way. Lena stands in the hallway, staring at the door to Ryan's room. Her heart is heavy with the weight of the truth she's about to reveal. The shock of the betrayal still stings, but the time for secrets is over. The storm she's weathered has reached its peak, and the only way forward is through the chaos. She takes a deep breath and pushes the door open, entering the quiet room. The soft hum of machines and Ryan's shallow breaths are the only sounds. She's been here for hours, waiting for the right moment, and now it's time. Ryan is still unconscious, his body fragile, but there's a sense of peace in his expression. Lena sits by his bedside, her fingers gently tracing the rim of his hand, still warm from the earlier touch. She feels the weight of everything she's been through, the sleepless nights, the secrets uncovered, the anger that's bubbled up. It all comes down to this moment, telling Ryan the truth. As the minutes tick by, Lena's phone buzzes. She picks it up, her eyes scanning the message from Thomas. Divorce papers are ready. Sarah has been served. Lena nods to herself, relieved that the legal machinery is in motion. But Sarah is a fighter. She won't give up easily. Just as Lena sets the phone down, it rings. A familiar name flashes on the screen, Sarah. With a deep exhale, Lena answers. Sarah, she says coolly, her voice calm but unwavering. Lena, what the hell did you do? Sarah's voice crackles through the speaker, laced with panic and frustration. I'm getting all these alerts. Why are the accounts frozen? What's going on? Lena doesn't hesitate. I froze them, Sarah. You've been caught. I know everything about the money transfers, the offshore accounts, the plans you made to steal from my son. The silence on the other end of the line is deafening. Lena can almost hear Sarah's breath catch, trying to process what Lena has just said. You have no right to do this. Sarah's voice rises in anger. Those accounts belong to both of us. I have just as much claim to them as Ryan. Lena's grip tightens around the phone. No, Sarah, you've been lying, manipulating, and stealing from Ryan for months. You think you can take everything and walk away, but you're wrong. This ends now. There's a long pause before Sarah finally speaks, her voice laced with desperation. Lena, you don't understand. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Ryan has to know. He has to know what I've been dealing with. Lena's voice hardens. What you've been dealing with? Is that what you call it? The truth is, Sarah, you've been playing a game that I'm no longer willing to let you win. You've used my son, manipulated him, and now you're trying to take everything. Sarah's tone shifts, a weak attempt at pleading. Please, Lena. Ryan doesn't deserve to be treated this way. He doesn't know what I've had to go through to keep things together. You don't understand the pressure. Lena cuts her off, the calm in her voice barely concealing her fury. I understand perfectly, Sarah. You've been pressuring him into trusting you while secretly taking from him. And now you're trying to manipulate me into thinking you're the victim. Lena's voice drops, steely with resolve. You're not the victim here. Ryan is. I didn't want it to come to this, Sarah stammers, but Lena can hear the cracks in her voice. I never wanted to hurt him, I swear, Lena shakes her head, the bitterness rising in her throat. It's too late for apologies, Sarah. You've crossed a line. Ryan is going to know everything, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's a long silence, and then Lena hears a new sound, Sarah's voice, cold and calculated. You think you've won, don't you? You think you're going to get away with all of this, but you're wrong. I'm not going to let you ruin my life. I'll fight back. Lena lets out a slow, deliberate breath. You can fight all you want, but the truth is on our side. You're not getting away with this, Sarah. The truth always comes out in the end. With that, Lena hangs up, her hands steady despite the storm inside. The confrontation is over for now. Sarah is out of cards to play, and Lena is ready for whatever comes next. She looks over at Ryan, still unconscious, and whispers softly, We've got this, sweetheart. I won't let her hurt you anymore. In this moment, Lena knows the battle is far from over, but she's no longer afraid. The truth is her weapon, and she's ready to wield it until the very end. Lena stands at the edge of the hospital room, her eyes fixed on Ryan's peaceful face. The fight has been exhausting, but she feels a strange sense of calm now, knowing she's done everything she can to protect him. The battle isn't over, but it's taken a decisive turn. Her phone buzzes again, it's Thomas. She takes a moment before answering. Lena, Thomas begins, his voice businesslike. The papers are filed. The divorce petition has been served, and the injunction to freeze Sarah's access to the assets is in place. We've also included the evidence of her financial misconduct. It's all documented. Lena's heart lifts, but she doesn't allow herself to celebrate just yet. She knows Sarah won't give up without a fight. The manipulation runs deep, and it's only a matter of time before Sarah tries to come up with some new scheme. Good, Lena says, her voice firm. Make sure Ryan gets a copy of everything. I want him to see it all for himself. He deserves to know exactly what's been going on behind his back. Understood, Thomas replies. I'll make sure he gets it. Lena hangs up, her mind racing. The legal team has done their part, but now she must wait for Ryan to wake up and hear the full extent of the betrayal. It's a conversation she dreads, but it's one that needs to happen. She walks over to Ryan's bedside, brushing a strand of his dark hair from his forehead. He looks so vulnerable, so fragile. It breaks her heart to think of everything he's had to endure. Yet, she knows that this strike, this exposure of Sarah's lies, is the only way to protect him in the long run. Just then, Lena's phone rings again. This time, it's Sandra, the attorney who's been working on the divorce case with her. Lena answers immediately. Sandra, what's the latest? She asks, keeping her tone calm but anticipating a critical update. Lena, we've got everything in place. Sarah's lawyer called to protest the freeze on the accounts, but it won't make a difference. The evidence of the transfers, the misuse of funds, and the affair, it's all airtight. We're moving forward. Lena exhales, relief flooding her body. And Sandra's voice takes on a sharp edge. She's scrambling. She doesn't have a leg to stand on legally, and she knows it. She's been trying to manipulate the narrative, making it seem like she's the victim here, but it won't work. She's dug herself into a hole. Good, Lena says. Let her try. The truth's out now, and there's no going back for her. I'll handle the rest, Sandra assures her. You just focus on supporting Ryan. He'll need you now more than ever. Lena thanks Sandra and ends the call. She feels a weight lift off her shoulders, but it's not over yet. Sarah's facade is cracking, but Lena knows she'll be back with some kind of emotional plea. What Sarah doesn't realize, though, is that the legal system doesn't care about her lies or manipulation anymore. It cares about the truth, and the truth has already been exposed. Lena turns back to Ryan, her heart swelling with love and protectiveness. She knows he'll wake up soon, and when he does, he'll have to face the wreckage Sarah has left behind. But Lena has already done everything in her power to make sure Ryan is protected. He won't have to fight alone. As she sits by his side, Lena finally allows herself a small, tired smile. The fight isn't over. It's far from it. But this is the moment where the tide shifts. The justice strike has landed. And now, the real work of healing begins. The morning sunlight streams into the hospital room, casting a warm glow over the sterile white walls. Lena's eyes are weary, but there's a calm determination in her gaze as she watches Ryan's chest rise and fall steadily. He's still unconscious, but the steady beep of the monitor is a sign of hope. The worst is behind them, at least for now. Lena knows that the legal battle ahead will be long and painful, but at least the truth is out. Sarah's game is over. The carefully constructed life Sarah had built on lies, manipulation, and betrayal has crumbled, piece by piece. Lena's actions have set things in motion, and now it's just a matter of watching everything fall into place. As she sits by Ryan's bedside, Lena hears a soft knock on the door. She turns to see Thomas, her lawyer, walking in with a thick folder in hand. His usual calm demeanor is replaced with a slight, unspoken urgency. "Lena," he begins, setting the folder down on the table beside her. The court's already moving forward with the divorce filings. The injunction on Sarah's assets has been accepted, and the restraining order preventing her from contacting Ryan or accessing his property has been approved. We've already received confirmation that she's been served with the papers. Lena nods, her fingers tightening around the edge of the folder. It feels surreal, the enormity of what she's accomplished. Sarah had made herself out to be the innocent victim in all of this, but the law and the evidence have proven otherwise. "Do you think she'll fight it?" Lena asks, her voice steady despite the weight of the situation. "Of course she will," Thomas says with a wry smile. "But now she's playing defense. We've got all the cards on our side, and she's got no solid ground to stand on. The evidence is overwhelming." Lena exhales slowly, the tension in her shoulders easing slightly. "Good, then let's finish this." Before Thomas can respond, Ryan's voice, weak but clear, cuts through the room. "Mom," he calls, his eyes fluttering open. Lena's heart leaps as she rushes to his side, taking his hand. "I'm here, sweetheart. It's okay. You're safe." Ryan's confused gaze sweeps the room, trying to process where he is, what's happening. His voice is strained as he speaks again. What? What happened? Where's Sarah? Is she?" Lena squeezes his hand, a mix of love and sadness in her eyes. She takes a moment, gathering her thoughts before she answers. "She's not here, Ryan, and she's not coming back. I found out everything she's been hiding from you." Ryan's eyes widen as he tries to sit up, his body weak. "What do you mean? What's going on, Mom?" Lena helps him adjust the pillows behind his head, giving him the space he needs to fully focus on her words. "Sarah has been lying to you for months, taking money, making plans behind your back. She's been manipulating you and taking from your inheritance without you knowing." Ryan's face turns pale as the shock sinks in. He shakes his head, unable to process it all. I don't believe it. I married her. I trusted her." "I know you did, sweetheart," Lena says softly. "But now we know the truth, and the truth will protect you from here on out." Ryan's hands tremble slightly as he sits in stunned silence, trying to make sense of the information. Lena knows this won't be easy for him to digest, but at least now he can heal and move forward without the shadow of Sarah's betrayal hanging over him. Lena leans in, her voice steady and comforting. "You're not alone in this, Ryan. We'll fix this together." Thomas steps back, sensing the need for privacy, and heads toward the door. "I'll let you two talk, but remember, Lena, we've got everything in place. Sarah's no longer in control." Lena nods, her eyes not leaving Ryan's. The battle may not be over, but the hard part is behind them. The legal system is working its course, and the truth is finally in the light. As the door closes behind Thomas, Ryan looks at his mother, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know how to thank you, Mom. You saved me." Lena smiles gently, brushing his hair back. "You don't need to thank me. I'm your mother. I'll always protect you no matter what." Time passes and the days slowly drift by. The hospital room becomes a place of quiet recovery for Ryan, while Lena continues to manage the unfolding legal battle. Sarah, now cornered, tries to resist, but the weight of her actions is too much. The evidence Lena gathered, the financial records, the affair, the emotional manipulation, it all points back to Sarah's betrayal. As the divorce proceedings move forward, Sarah's facade crumbles under the pressure. Eventually, she agrees to an uncontested divorce, settling for a much smaller portion of the assets than she had hoped. Lena watches as Ryan finally breathes a sigh of relief, knowing he's free from Sarah's grip. Months later, Lena stands outside the family home, her gaze sweeping over the garden where she had spent so many quiet afternoons with Ryan when he was a child. It feels like a lifetime ago, but here they are stronger than ever. Ryan walks up beside her, his expression peaceful for the first time in a long while. "I'm ready to move forward, Mom," he says, his voice filled with quiet determination. "I'm going to rebuild. For me, for the kids, for all of us." Lena smiles, the weight of everything finally lifting. She takes Ryan's hand, squeezing it firmly. "And I'll be right here with you, every step of the way." As the sun sets over the horizon, Lena knows that no matter what the future holds, they'll face it together. Because in the end, justice isn't just about what the law says, it's about standing up for what's right, protecting the ones you love, and never backing down. The end.